not a vampire, not an alien. I'm not the fucking mummy, I'm a goblin.
Greetings, my goblin nation! Welcome to a review. Welcome to the Evil Dead 2. Why not the first one, you ask? Well, glad you asked. I could not find it at all. Not on Netflix, not on the other stream services. I cannot find it. Also, everything is in lockdown, so I cannot go out of the world. I even tried to find it on some sites that where I can order the DVD or Blu-ray or whatever kind of thing. I could not find it. I couldn't find the remake. There's a remake. Find out after recap online and everything that remake was, well, welcome to the present. And Chick is the main character. Great. Also, she has a brother. That's great, but chicks have to be the main character now. While I'm not against having the main character being chick, I feel like what makes the Evil Dead so cool is a guy with a fucking chainsaw as a hand. Even though in the first one you don't see it, it's in this one! Evil Dead 2, where he gets the chainsaw hand. He still has his hand, and so also I was lost. I do know the story about how he got his hand. How he kind of think that his hand became evil. He had to cut it off out of his life. That kind of thing I know. Because of I watched Ash vs. the Evil Dead, and that's so beautiful. I thought that was the last thing we ever gonna see of the Evil Dead. Ends up they're like, you know what? Remake. It's like, okay. But I didn't think the Evil Dead had anything to do with the original one, but apparently it has. Apparently nobody cares, because or else there would be an Evil Dead 2 by now. So I guess it doesn't have also the Evil Dead's way more iconic. And while in this movie I felt like everybody's so like, holy shit, oh, how can you not watch the Evil Dead? So great, it's a masterpiece. It's like a Nightmare on Elm Street iconic. I'm like, nah, dude. A Nightmare on Elm Street, since the first one, I have them all on a kind of Blu-ray collection. Those one are really iconic. I like the lines in it. I like the movie in it. I like the characters in it. While I didn't see the first movie, like I said, I could not find it. I felt like it's kind of go flat. We begin with him trying to cut his girlfriend or sister, I don't remember, but one of the two out of his life in pieces. Trying to kind of thing, fight it a little bit, throw it, then the girl has no head, bites him. And this is all in the first half hour, he's alone in the woods kind of thing. I know this is like a sequel to the kind of thing, so, but I feel also like this should be like, have more characters around. And it doesn't. For the first hour. Doesn't have, like, maybe in half hour, but doesn't have that. So he starts playing, trying to get that freaking demon off him. He tries to kind of thing, and then he gets even bitten. He gets possessed also, kind of thing. He also gets possessed, and I'm like, okay, that's new. How can he be possessed? But he does. And when he got possessed, he became a thing. But then was daylight, and apparently the Evil Dead cannot go with it. They have the vampire weakness. Light kill kind of throws them away. So only at night he can do this. So the next night he cannot get off the bridge. So he goes back to the cabin. And that's where every fun kind of thing. He tries to fight the kind of thing till another family go, and they're like, he is full of blood. He's like, throw him in the kind of down stairs. Also, we find out a book and how that somebody else kind of thing. We find this recording of the book that's kind of thing. And I was like, okay, is this the first one or is this the second one? I only halfway. I'm like, oh, I'm watching the second one, kind of thing. I was not sure. I thought I had found the first one, and it ended up to be the second one. yeah, in the beginning I really thought I found it like everywhere watching, didn't find it. Halfway through, so there's like trying to find the first one first, didn't find it. Well, anyway. Well, after all this kind of thing, after all them trying to get it, trying to find, trying to get kind of thing, then there's some people kind of thing. Ash gets, well, he gets nailed. He gets kind of first by his new friends, almost kind of thing. Then, but also the characters didn't feel that well. They literally came and got attacked. And Ash got kind of thrown away first because he's a madness. He has a Mad Hatter, but the kind of thing. And then he has a shotgun. I'm like, oh, shotgun, oh, chainsaw. And he takes the chainsaw, but also before they came, he already had his hand off because his hand got possessed because it got bitten by his dead wife or dead sister. I don't remember, one of the two. And he kind of did his knife and kind of thing, then chainsaws off it. Then later in by the ending, he did, there's also in the book there is this thing about the Army of the Darkness kind of thing. That's the sequel to this. I like that. Army of the Darkness is actually the first one I watched from Ash. Yes, I watched them in no good order at all, because I'm now watching the second and not the first kind of thing. I watched the Army of Darkness, after that the series, the TV series kind of thing, and now I'm going back to the second, not the first, but the second. It's like, what's next? The remaster before I watch the first? Most likely. Because I did see that I could watch the remaster, and I feel like I didn't give that one a shot. I feel like it's bad and it's not so iconic, because the Evil Dead is way like we get an iconic kind of thing for it. But also this guy whines a little bit more than I thought he would. It's like, okay, he's whining, okay, and he's also kind of thing. But also I get it that he's more fighting now. He's alone, and he's kind of gets the chainsaw kind of thing. He's not a guy that we know him from, and he's also not as funny, because in Ash vs. the Evil Dead, that's the kind of funny I was expecting, like that one. Maybe I should review the whole series, but I have still one season more that I have to get my hands on. I didn't want to get my hands on it, but I don't have it yet. But anyway, so the Evil Dead kind of thing, he kind of gets the chains out. Now the papers, some guys like, we're gonna go after my girlfriend that just got tracked in the woods and probably is dead, but I want her back. And it's like, oh, that's love. I get your feelings, but now you're forcing us to go. That's like, so after that he gets possessed again, and they get into the kind of back into the woods. Back in the cabin, and in the cabin they try to kind of thing, but then she is like, okay, we need to get her. Then Ash gets the freaking, I was like, I got it all. I got the papers. He throws the papers at kind of thing at her. She tries, apparently she is the one that can kind of know what's the stuff to say, and she says the stuff, but not in time, because they are in Flash. Now they're all kind of Flash things. He starts to like keep on going. Then she gets stabbed in the back by Ash's dead hand, kind of things, like, ha! And I'm like, how does he grab that and jumped? Is that what his pinky like boing boing? Kind of thing. I mean, it could be. No, I'm not gonna do that. Anyway, so after that she almost died, and the demons and are like, yes, we won! And then she is like whispering it, and the portal opens to like a black hole, getting everybody in it, kind of thing. Also, eventually she dies, but Ash also gets is like, you did it, girl! Oh shit! And gets thrown into it, and there begins the Army of the Darkness movie kind of thing. So it's like, but also it got already set up, because by the book was like somebody kind of killed it, and well, Ash kind of killed him. You saw that boomstick. You saw him like, it was this prophecy, self-made, some prophecy that would come true no matter what, because he has to kind of do it. Like it's him, he has the kind of chainsaw hand, and now he is the prophecy man himself. So he goes into time by accident, and now he killed the demon, but he is also like, no, this whole thing is that I am the freaking guy. So like kind of thing, I have to do this all. And I think the Army of the Darkness, because that's one of the, is where I think the shine starts, where the guy that we all know is really starting. Because here he is like, okay, he is the iconic look. Now we need his iconic kind of character, and that's, I think, is in the Army of Darkness. And then Ash vs. the Evil Dead is kind of an amazing one I really like. But I feel like as an iconic, this is kind of thing. It's not too great. I give it an 8 out of 10. I feel like in Nightmare on Elm Street, I combine that with a Nightmare. And it's also a budget that's a little bit lower, I think, than a Nightmare on Elm Street. But it also feels like that was the good movies. And Nightmare on Elm Street, that also went there. You cannot compare an Evil Dead to the remake or to the kind of other things that are now, because the CGI was not on point then. The CGI was not kind of there. The acting was not the same as it is now. So all of these things are different, but a kind of thing back there. So I would give this one an 8 out of 10. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's cool when he has the chainsaw kind of thing. That's when hands and the shotgun kind of thing, that's when it really starts to get cool for me. But that's because I remember him only having that chainsaw hand, and it's kind of a iconic shotgun kind of thing. Those two, that's what I really love. That's what I really remember him by. Also, it's not as funny as I hoped it would be, and that's again the Ash vs. the Evil Dead is where I really like the funniness in that, and I also expected that kind of to be here, but it wasn't. So maybe it wasn't the first one, but again, didn't find the first one. Stumbled on the second one, not the first one. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got to say. I know, I'm thinking. I cannot remember anyway, others kind of thing too bad. So an 8 out of 10 it is. 8 out of 10 is good. It's a good movie. It's not the worst kind of, I mean, maybe a 7.7. Yeah, let's go with that. I like number 7. It's like my lucky number. And I feel like it's also, it's not as good as the other movies I watched, but also the other movies are from more present kind of thing, and also expected more of this movie. Maybe that's why, because I already know Ash vs. the Evil Dead. I know that's kind of thing, but I also know these movies are so iconic. People love the hell out of those movies, but I cannot see how people would. I mean, it's a good movie, don't get me wrong. 7.7 is a pretty nice rating, but I feel like I expected more. Maybe my kind of expectations were way too high for this movie. But anyway, I'm gonna go to sleep. I need my sleep. I need to get my nightmares waking me up in the dark. That's gonna be fun. I mean, it's not gonna come from this movie. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you liked Evil Dead 2 more than me. I would love know what you liked about Evil Dead 2. And yes, I kind of skipped the kind of thing because I could not find it. But maybe one day when the lockdowns are over, or it shows up on the internet or on Netflix or whatever kind of thing, I will watch it. But till then, see you guys in the next one. Goodbye. Good night.
Then the days got worse and worse, and now you see I've gone completely out of my mind.